All right, my name is DeCall Thomas, and I've been interested in the Forrest Fenn treasure for quite some time now. Probably 2013 or 2014. Well, definitely in 2013, I had bought the book, Thrill of the Chase. So I think my uncle mentioned it on Facebook, got me. I had money in the bank at the time, so I ordered the book, read through it. Didn't think I'd ever do anything, but it was interesting. And then one day, I don't know, me and the wife got in a little dispute over something. It was trivial, I'm sure, but I said, let's drive to Montana. It's like 12 hours away. Yellowstone area actually is what I was thinking. And so I drove over to West Yellowstone area to check it out, see what's going on with Forrest Fenn. Man, what a traumatic experience. I got leg cramps. Turns out I ate a whole bunch of trail mix on the way over and killed my legs. And it got me thinking, wow, what the heck am I doing? Am I really doing this puzzle thing right? So I read both books again, and I had just gotten in the mail Too Far to Walk, and I think Forrest Fenn had mentioned already that this photo of him, it's not a photo, but it's a recreation with this shadow. But basically, Fenn was saying that's him, and he was that's him standing at the Madison Junction area. So after rethinking and suffering with leg cramps on the one hike that I went up to one of the falls over there, Osprey Falls, it was fantastic, beautiful place. Kind of scared the heck out of me though, all the wolf tracks and bear tracks and every other kind of tracks. And no, I didn't have bear spray at the time. I really think I've wised up. I have the bear spray now. But anyway, I started really pondering, what is Fenn getting at? What is he really talking about? What is he motivated by? And I realized, why not just take him at his word, so to speak, go with the most obvious, realistic, simplified answer in the poem. So if he's standing here by the Madison Junction, it's almost like he's ready to begin his journey, possibly even he's ended his journey. So I realized, wow, all of Yellowstone's warm waters empty basically into Madison Junction. So, what the heck is the main geyser? Anyway, all those hot waters flow into this junction, and he mentioned that's the place where he's standing. So, and he mentioned the significance of his childhood being there and bathing there and all these sorts of things. So I figure, why not take him at the heart of the issue and not assume it's anywhere else, just sort of start there. And it makes perfect sense. Like Dale Knight's when people have explained that Firehole River ends right there, and the Madison River starts there. That's Forrest Fenn's favorite river. And so I decided to take that approach, the most obvious approach, to the poem, as I've gone alone in there and with my treasures bold. And then second stanza, begin it where warm waters halt. So it seems like begin it is here at Madison Junction. And then come to find out, in the preface of Too Far to Walk, he explains that the 10 miles of river are on the Madison River before Baker Hole. So 10 miles of river before Baker's Hole. I've heard talk that there's some confusion about how many miles it actually is from Madison Junction to Baker's Hole because it's so windy, and whether it's as the crow flies or not, but it doesn't matter. That section of river he was very specific about. So basically you have Madison Junction, and you have this section of river that's before Hebgen Lake, and it's after Madison Junction. So it's almost like Forrest Fenn is painting a very clear and obvious path. Now, after my first trip in my first trip to Yellowstone, I had those severe leg cramps. I couldn't sleep that first night, and there was this huge aha moment that the home of Brown is Hebgen Lake, because of course Forrest Fenn as a child was very interested in the brown trout and trout fishing and those rivers, and that was his area, that was his exploratory place. And so it made perfect sense that since the brown trout spawned from Hebgen Lake up to Firehole Falls and also Gibbon Falls, that the home of Brown is likely, or a very obvious candidate would be Hebgen Lake. It's found all throughout his books, and it's by far the most obvious home of Brown in my mind. And then doesn't it make sense that if we start at Madison Junction, we follow the river down, and simple instructions in the poem, begin at where warm waters halt and take it in the canyon down. We're not going south, we're not going any other creative direction, we're just simply going down. Follow the water down. Okay, so yeah, that's me, by the way, over here on the right. And I'll probably do some other videos later where you can see me talking. Okay, so this is my website, fenntreasure.com. I'm not really promoting, like that's not the purpose of this video. I wanted to explain some of my ideas because it basically is hard to understand some of what I'm saying. Maybe it'll help with me chiming in, explaining it. Okay, so let me pull this picture over here. So I believe it's at Minnie Lake. I have believed for a while that this is where the treasure is. I haven't found it yet, but I wanted to publish my ideas because I wanted to get full credit for this location and these ideas in case, who knows, in case someone else finds the treasure, and I'll be thrilled if it's found by someone else somewhere else, but I wanted to kind of present my ideas, claim them, and I didn't want to hear later, oh, everybody in the world thought it was at Minnie Lake, they just didn't want to tell anybody. No, I'm putting my stamp on it and let the cards fall how they lay. And anyway, look at this beautiful place here. We got this lake in the middle, or island in the middle of this lake. It's almost like a perfect O. It looks like the compass. But I think the main reason that Fenn selected this place, other than it's very beautiful here, I personally believe Fenn wanted this to be his final resting place, his grave. So the grave is the most significant factor. It's like a memorial to Fenn, or, you know, it's Fenn, okay? But it also, so Fenn sees this, I'm interpreting Fenn, of course, but I believe Fenn sees this as a spiritual place representing his final death, and that this is an O shape. It's a perfect O, and I don't know if he selected the lake first and then realized that it's an O at the beginning and an O at the end, like his symbol, the double omega. Omegas means mega O. So there has to be a theme. Everyone knows there must be a theme. A very clear theme in the poem is death. There's other themes in the poem. You might think of birth. You might think of there's plenty of ideas about the poem for themes, and I don't mind having more than one theme as long as they work in harmony. So I think Fenn, at some point in his life, maybe from the air, maybe from the side, happened to see this beautiful lake, saw the grave, and said, "This has got to be my place." I think we're looking for something somewhat spectacular, something impressive, and I don't think he can claim something in Yellowstone really for his own. He's going to have a tough time just claiming this place as his own. but I think that's what he wants to do. Claim this little spot as his, and you could see with all the floaties on top, it's semi-stagnant water, but not too stagnant. I think he really would bury himself here, like he said he would do at his dying last breath, and he could do it very easily here. So anyway, I'll probably call this part 1 and talk some more details about this in part 2 and or 3.